Ta-da!
Oh, don't do that. Front the life out of me then. Oh,
Get your defibrillator out.
blimey, that's about as showbiz as we get here on the Beatleplaces Podcast.
It's it. Thanks, Mark. It is, yeah.
yeah.
Ladies and gents, and everyone else, welcome to the exhaustive but enjoyable half an hour plus VAT. Talking about the world's most marvellous foursome, the Beatles.
Hey.
The name of this show, if you happen to not know, is the Beatleplaces with Mark and Col.
Correct.
I'm the Col bit.
And I'm the Mark bit.
And the subtitle of this show is called Beatles with an A. We'll explain why later. And the reason why we do it is under the official Secrets Act of 1952.
Oh, don't mention that. No, I'll have to kill you otherwise. Anyway, nevertheless, Mark and Col have arrived, duly arrived, freshly disinfected, sprayed and DDT'd in the medicated footbath outside, and we're here to have a jolly good old-fashioned chinwag about all things Beatles, all things Liverpool, and surrounding chip shops and other bits and pieces, furniture stores and this, that and the other. And you'll hear something that you never knew. Like, no, I can't mention that. No, better not. You wished you never knew, and things you knew you'd wished, and
Never knew you wished.
and what else?
More besides.
Oh, anyway, you're gonna have a laugh in the bargain.
Well, we planned that. Well, we don't plan that, but it might happen anyway. So, by the way, folks, every episode of the Beatleplaces with Mark and Col is packed to the gunnels with Beatles trivia.
What is a gunnel, by
It's a big, long thing.
Ah, right.
Beatles stories, Beatle quizzes, we got one of them certainly,
Oh, aye.
random Beatle reminiscences, and bits we also make up on the spot. So, I'm only kidding. Right now, we're presenting a new Beatles Places feature called Beatles with an A, Michael, which is our alphabetical meander through the Beatles' lives, their music, and all loads more. So this time around, we're up to the letter. Which letter, Mark?
D.
Oh, grand.
D for
So
dog.
strap in and make ready for a grand old time because, you know, like it says on my wristwatch,
Yes, a splendid time is guaranteed for all.
I thank you all.
Very small letters, though. You can hardly read it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a small watch.
Ah, very well. There you go, then.
Well, welcome, everyone, and thanks very much.
Super.
Time for a theme tune.
Aye. Okay. Well, first of all, I think just a quick thing.
Oh, well, that's what the doctor said.
I'm going to write, well, not going to write, I'm going to read out a line from a song, a couple of lines from a song, and I'd like you to tell me the name of the song.
Bit of a challenge already.
Bit of a challenge already.
25 seconds in. We've
Getting
got
a sweat on. So
Not in my house.
I can hear your brain muscles churning away. So I'd like to know the title of this song, please. If you were red tonight, remember what I said tonight. For red is the colour my baby wore, and what's more, it's true. Okay. I'd like to know the name of that song.
in right away. Or,
Right away, yes.
right
please,
away.
Yes.
It's. I can sing it.
Come on then.
It's not Babies in Black.
No, it's a different. It's a different colour because if you were red tonight, it starts.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Is it?
Why do I stumble with these songs?
I don't know.
Yeah, very
So,
good.
yes, it is.
It's your authoritarian approach to these things.
Well, thank you very much.
You speak like a newsreader when you talk to them. That's what it is.
And finally,
No.
sorry.
Later.
Go on then.
So the gist of this show is we're going to do things to do with the Beatles, but things to do with the alphabet. This time around, we're doing the letter D. D for dog, D for dogma, D for dogmatic. And we're just throwing it all at you. We're going to talk about Beatles songs with a D, Beatle places with a D, Beatle things with a D. Pretty much covers everything, I suspect. And loads about Beatle people as well. So that's what Mark and me like doing, just chunnering away like Billy O and talking about Beatle places, Beatle things, and Beatles with an A.
Aye. Is that a guitar you have in your hand? Well, that was nice.
Did you like it?
Oh, that was lovely.
I I thought the E string was a little out.
Ah, I'll put it back.
So, letter D, folks. Letter D.
Letter D.
Do you mind if I just drop us right in it and pick up on something like last time we talked about D's?
Go on.
We were talking about another letter, sorry, what the hell am I talking about? We were talking about the letter C, naturally.
That was before.
A-E-I-O-I. And we talked about letter C, and John's letter C revolved around pets. And they were cats, and John had some cats when he was a kid. He also had some dogs, and he had plenty of them over the years, but his chief sort of pet was a cat. However, when he was a bit of a teenager, he had a dog called Sally. And during the first year of our college, John was having various rows with his auntie, who would spend a great deal of time at his mother's, Mother Julia, that is. And Mimi became upset by this, and in order to punish him, got rid of Sally.
Ah.
Now that's a bit of a horrible one, isn't it? What a horrible way to do that.
Ah.
Well, he was heartbroken, basically. So I've never heard him talk about Sally since, or it's not come up in a song. So
I didn't know he had any dogs, to be honest.
No. And we won't mention the parrot till we do the letter P.
Oh, right. That's a long way away.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Polly was it, by any
No.
chance?
Derek.
Ah, Derek. Anyway,
Yeah.
do you want to know a secret?
Yes, I do.
You'll never know how much I really love you. You'll never know how much I really care. Okay? That's just a line from a song called Do You Want to Know a Secret?
Oh, it's a letter D song, is it?
Yeah, John wrote that song. He got the idea from a Walt Disney film, Cinderella or Fantasia. It went something like, do you want to know a secret? Promise not to tell. Standing by a wishing well. And he developed it from that. So, whoa, a little closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words I love to hear. I'm in love with you. Oh. So that's it, really. Do you want to know a secret?
I always
So where you got it from?
It's the Billy J. Kramer version of that one that kind of like hit the charts, didn't it? And George sang the vocal on it. But, it's when George was probably sounding more scoused than ever.
I thought he was more nasal,
yeah,
wasn't he?
adenoidal.
Adenoidal.
Yeah,
What a good word that is, yes.
And we often use it around here because we're all stuffed to the gunnels. Back to the gunnels again.
Yes, that's twice you've mentioned it.
Adenoids.
And the same to you.
But adenoids aren't letter D. So here's what's a letter D. It's a beetle place. Would you like to hear about Dornish Island, Mark?
Oh, certainly.
Dornish Island. Well, funnily enough, my family are from are Irish and from County Mayo. And near this place in County Mayo is a place called Dornish Island. And it was purchased by John and Yoko in 1967 for £1,550. They're cheap as far as I'm concerned, because what they planned to do was build a holiday home there. It consists of about 19 acres, and it's a lovely place, very cold place called Clew Bay in County Mayo, in the west of Ireland. So if you think of where Dublin is, go completely the other coast, and you're in Westport, Mayo, County Mayo, Dornish Island. And at the time, the Westport Harbour Commissioners owned it. But in 1968, John and Yoko actually visited Ireland and came over to Dornish Island, where they viewed a place called Achill Island with an actor friend of theirs called Robert Shaw. He was in Jaws,
Was he?
Yeah. And
he was, wasn't he?
They had dinner and locally, and then they went off to visit Dornish Island with a fellow who Mark might know of called Ronan O'Rahilly. So he was a pirate ranger.
O'Reilly. Is it O'Reilly?
O'Rahilly. O'Rahilly. Really? O'Rahilly. And he was like a pirate radio sort of entrepreneur type guy.
Radio Caroline.
But that was the buzz thing, pirate radio, the 67, 68 period. So you can tell they had a bit of a blast. So after John bought the island, it became known as Beetle Island. That's what they'd say. And my Auntie Kathleen, who's out there, did say, "Oh, you got to go and see that Beetle Island, Colin," because it's still what they call it. And so John sort of described it, and I suppose at the time he was being sort of into his transcendental meditation phases. He said it was the most peaceful place on earth. Well, in my opinion, it's very bleak and it's very cold. But that's in the bad part of the year. In 1983, Yoko said, it was a place we thought we could escape to from the pressures of life and spend some undisturbed time together. Sort of a Muller Kintyre sort of a setup, really. And they discussed often the chance to build cottages there. It was beautiful and it was tranquil, but it was very isolated, as you'll find if you get there. Although the couple bought the island, they never went back again. And they just had that picnic sort of time there and came back. A year later, a group of hippies moved in, and they were given permission by John to set up a sort of a commune, and that didn't do too much too often, and it basically, the weather and the harsh gales, and we're suffering them tonight, aren't we, Mal? From the Atlantic Ocean, the very same place.
Certainly are.
I sort of made the commune sort of unable to do much with anything like grow food or anything of that nature. And by and large, by 1983, as late as that, Yoko sold the island and gave the proceeds nicely to an Irish orphanage. She was putting the Dorinish up for sale as an expression of the love we have for the island and its people. John would have wished the island to be returned to the Irish, and John is still there in spirit, she said. Yeah. So a place called Dorinish Island. Look it up, folks. You won't see much of it. It's a bit of a blip. But I've been there.
Is there a hotel there or anything
no,
like
it's nothing. It's a nothing sort of.
I'm not going there then.
No. I didn't say you had to.
Oh, well.
No, just saying if you want to.
Well, maybe.
Well, it's Beatleplaces with an A letter D tonight, so that was a D, Beatles related.
Very good.
All right, you're welcome.
Shall I tell you about Digger Pony?
Well, yeah, go on.
Go on. Digger Pony was largely composed in the studio, as you can probably guess, and the words make very little sense. At one point, it was called Conor Lowry, possibly a reference to a make of organ used in the studio, Lowry organ. But John changed it to Digger Pony, because I, Conor Lowry, didn't sing well. It's got to be D's and P's, you know, he said. Similarly, the line, I do a roadhog, started as I dig a skylight, and then it became I did a groundhog. It had to be rougher, John argued. I don't care if skylight was prettier. The chorus was taken from a separate song of John's written about Yoko, called All I Want Is You. The original song listing for the album used this title rather than Dig a Pony. In January 1969, when the song was recorded, John explained the secrets of its composition. I just make it up as I go along, he said. In September 1980, he laconically concluded, just another piece of garbage.
Why does he have to dismiss everything he does?
Quite a few songs that he's written are just garbage.
Pile of rubbish.
Aye.
Yeah. Strange but true, I suppose. Yeah. Enjoyable stuff. I love it when the songs, as much as we go, oh, isn't it lovely, and so, and they go, nah, it's kind of about a cardboard box or something silly. You know, they don't care too much. Welcome everyone, it's Mark, it's Carl, it's Beatles with an A, letter D, and here we are doing our stuff.
It's a Beatleplaces podcast, certainly is. We're
jingle,
here.
Jingle.
Oh, where?
Over there.
Oh, right.
Here it comes now.
Beatleplaces Podcast with Mark and Carl. Serious Radio. Well, that was good.
Lively, isn't it?
Yes.
I like that guy, whoever he was.
I think he'd go a long way.
Do you think?
I wish he would, anyway.
Col here.
Hello.
And Col with a Beatle person. Let's connect ourselves with the family trees of the Beatles for a couple of minutes. We're talking about Paul's family. Now, Paul's family have done the usual thing of going online and working out their ancestry. And through Paul's family tree, on his maternal side, he was very Irish-rooted. We just talked a lot about a place in Ireland, and certainly all the Beatles, all of them, had Irish roots, and I've proven that. Paul especially came from County Monaghan, where he had a family called the Mohan family, also known as Moan, M-O-A-N, but the name was kind of anglicised, changed into Mohan. The letter D bit is the other half of the family through Paul's mum, Mary, and her mum was somebody, she was a Mohan. Mary Mohan married James McCartney, but Mary McCartney's mum was a lady called Mary Teresa Danher, D-A-N-H-E-R. But that doesn't mean she was Irish. Typically of us, and I'm proof, were born in Liverpool. And her parents were John Danner, who was born in about 1842, and a lady called Jane Baines. I like that, Jane Baines. born in 1848. So John was from Limerick, which is a city in sort of the southern part of Ireland.
Aye.
And Jane came from Dudley in Worcestershire.
Oh, very good.
Nowhere
very
near
good.
bloody Ireland, which is the Midlands of the UK.
I like your accent there.
Did
Very
you
nice,
really
yes.
like? I thought it was all right. The family, of course, when I don't know how they met, you can't kind of guess, but all the combinations of the Beatles family tree seem to be someone from way over there and someone from way over there, all met in Liverpool. Just seems to be the way. The Starkeys did, and John's family did, and George's family especially did. But with Paul, the Danher family, they came from Limerick and Dudley, and the family just settled in Liverpool about 1870 odd, but not without firstly going to places like Middlesbrough up in the northeast of England, back to Ireland, even Bradford, and they had at least 10 children in the Danner family. John Danner was what they call a gas meter maker, and he lived in a place in Liverpool called West Derby. So they brought up a family yonder, which was fine. Moving later to nearer sort of the posher part of Liverpool, Egbert Road. But even later still, when they retired, him and his wife, they moved to a place called Leasowe Road in Wallasey, which is over the water a little bit. And John passed away in 1917. And what's understood to be true is that the cemetery in Yew Tree Cemetery, where the grave is, that's where Paul's mum is actually buried. The first burial site for Paul's mum isn't there. There's no gravestone, there's no marker, there's nothing. And that's simply because Mary McCartney was moved to be with a family grave comprised of her dad and her sisters. And that was the Danher family. Interesting but true.
Oh, well, I never. I'm going to do a thing now called, what do we call it normally? Beatles diary thing.
Oh, I like them.
Yeah.
They're interesting.
A day in the life of the Beatles. If you cast your mind back to 60 years ago today, April the 15th.
I'm not looking.
They were No, it's not a quiz, it's all right.
Oh,
they were filming A Hard Day's Night all those years ago. On April the 15th, which it is today, isn't it?
And a couple of minutes.
They were filming outside shots at the Scala Theatre in Charlotte Street in London. And Paul was interviewed by David Frost for a BBC One television show called A Degree of Frost. Tomorrow, April the 16th, they filmed some chase scenes in Notting Hill Gate, presumably where they're running and maybe at the beginning of the film, I'm not too sure where George falls over.
90% of the time in that movie, didn't they?
Or chased by fans. Well, the whole film was chased by fans, really. So that's what they did on April the 16th, 1964. And also in Abbey Road, the recording of A Hard Day's Night. They recorded the actual song that day. So
busy day.
It was all those years ago, 60 years ago. That's what happened. Well, I never.
Well, you like to think about those movies, and I read recently a book called 1001 Movies You Got to see before you die. Right. It's like a series of TV shows and books you got to read and things like that. And certainly A Hard Day's Night in there because it's just so classically great. It's it wasn't like an Elvis movie. It wasn't like a Cliff Richard movie. It was of its own.
Yeah, it was
origins.
Filmed differently as well.
Acted differently. It wasn't pretentious. It wasn't silly, stupid with a romantic sort of theme in it. It just had them in it. Did you know, in fact, I mean, you might have pointed this out to me in a previous podcast, but did you know there's no mention of the Beatles in that movie? Not a mention of them at all.
Oh,
I think it was done deliberately. It was done deliberately.
Yeah.
But you watch the whole movie, they don't say it's the Beatles.
No.
There's John, there's Paul, there's George, and the other guy. And no mention of Beatles.
No.
So, yeah, interesting.
I know when John is coming down the stairs at the theatre,
aye,
and one of the actresses or the dancers is going up, and she stops and says, "It's you, isn't it?" And he says, No, it's not. I said, it is you. No, it's not. No, it's just a rumour. I said, it is you, Tom, sure it's you. No, it isn't. And off he goes. It doesn't mention just mention his name or anything like that. But it's you, isn't it? It is you.
I do that all the time to strangers I meet.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Can we have another one later?
Well, you can.
That's very kind of you.
I'll take another year out.
Yeah, please. Go way up. Go way up the dial. Son.
I'll go up to somewhere around about 1967, shall I?
Yeah, we're kind of hip and trendy. We can do these things.
We'll move about a bit.
Well, congratulations, everybody. You have lots of taste. You're listening to Beatleplaces with Mark and Col. And the little feature we call for the next 20-odd episodes called Beatles with an A. So here we are, and as I promised you, there's a quiz. In the middle of the show, we're going to do a quiz. We'll throw the answers at you towards the tail end. Right. But let me try Mark with, we mentioned movies straight away. Another movie, TV movie, as it happens, was The Beatles and the Magical Mystery Tour.
Right.
So let me test Mark with a few of them, maybe all of them, questions about The Beatles and the Magical Mystery Tour.
Right. You do that to me, and then I'll give you some... questions as well.
Yeah, fair trade-off.
A quiz section now, so everybody get your ear holes sorted out and see if you can.
We need the mastermind music.
Get any of these?
We can't pay the copyright.
Oh no,
don't pay the copyright. So Beatles and Magical Mystery Tour. So question 1: what song did the Beatles dance to in the Magical Mystery Tour movie? Don't answer that one in a hurry. Wait.
Go on.
Which Beatle brother? Question 2: which Beatle brother came along on the Magical Mystery Tour?
Right, okay.
And where did Paul go to film the Fool on the Hill clip of the movie?
I have something about that later on as well. Funny we picked the same question.
And two more. Magical Mystery Tour is loosely based upon which book about merry pranksters? Magical Mystery Tour is loosely based upon which book about merry pranksters? That's practically the title of the book, but that's another story.
A Shakespeare book? Is this one of those Shakespeare ones?
I'm not letting on here. No, that's the point of the quiz. Finally, in this little section, which Beatle wife was also in Magical Mystery Tour? It's hard to remember that one. So stand by your beds.
Right.
Answers coming back later. So that was good enough to go with that. So we'll hark back to round 40, as it was, of Beatles and Magical Mystery Tour. Now Mark's going to have a dabble.
Fabulous.
Test me out. Fire away, kiddo.
Right. Just let myself sorted out.
You've got to be sorted and prepared.
I am sorted. Right. What D, because we're in D at the moment, Beatles with a D. See how I did that there?
That was nifty.
What D was the theatre where the Beatles fan club hired a room for £5 and the Beatles attended? Any idea? The newly formed fan club as well.
The D.
D was it?
Are we talking local?
Well,
to us.
Local to us. In the Liverpool area.
Depends where you stand, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's a D.
Go back to 1961 then.
I just did.
Very early. I wondered where you went. Okay, any idea?
Oh, you're the answer.
Well, have a think, and I'll give you the answer in a bit.
Well, this won't take long.
No.
All done.
Question number 2 was going to be the name the name of the hill that inspired Fool on the Hill, but I won't do that.
The name of the hill, I don't know.
The name of the hill?
Yeah, my question was about the place he went to, but I don't think I put the answer in as a hill. So you might be able to get away with that one.
Oh, right, okay. So what was the name of the hill that inspired Fool on the Hill? Okay. Question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
What 2 songs mention the animal walrus? And finally, can you name 2 songs that mention animals that actually have a name? One is a name of an animal, and the other one doesn't mention the animal type, but the name of that animal, if you know what I mean. Like Fred or...
A descriptive type.
Like, I call my parrot Arthur.
Aye.
So what's the
You got a parrot too?
Yes. No, only one. So I want an animal that is called this animal, okay, whatever. And the other one doesn't mention the type of animal, but it's the name of the animal.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
with you. Yeah, with you.
Like,
yeah, got it.
Like Fluffy the cat or whatever. So what D was the theatre where the Beatles fan club hired a room for £5 and the Beatles attended? What was the name of the hill that inspired Fool on the Hill? Question number 3. What 2 songs mention walrus, and what 2 animals, there's only 2 I can think of anyway, that have a name in Beatles songs? Okay? I would like to know, please. So tell me when you can.
If anyone would like to get in touch,
All right.
ringing me first, that would be helpful as well.
Next.
And we've arrived back. That was lovely, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Short
It
trip
was
out.
lovely,
We needed to get the shopping in.
Yeah.
We needed some bits.
Glad we had a ham sandwich. What?
Hi everyone, Mark here with Carl, and Beatleplaces is the name of the game.
This is Mark here with Carl as well.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Carl here with Mark.
As well. Oh, that's 4 of us already.
Hello.
Hello. All right. You're right. Beatleplaces, letter D, persons, people. You know what people are. They're the kind of things that get in the way of the bus stop.
Yes.
Rod Davis. I mentioned to Mark earlier before we began this production that I've got this Instagram account where I post occasional pictures of Beatleplaces just for the entertainment and education of people who aren't local.
Aye.
You're welcome to look and by all means jump in and see what you see. Lately, I've been gotten in touch with by the also another Instagram account from the Quarrymen, those surviving members of the original band John Lennon was in when he was just a lad. And it comprised of a few people, and they've been lovely because when I've been in touch with a few of them, a fellow called Rod Davis was the guy who emailed me back and talked to me and gave me some clips and links and advice and things like that.
Aye.
Super nice guy. And I thought, he's a letter D. What a coincidence.
Well, I never did. I never thought of that.
In he goes into my choice of people with letter Ds in them.
Right.
So, Rod Davis, a quarryman. Born in 1941, he attended St. Peter's Sunday School in Walton, so that's where the connection is, meeting John. And he teamed up with John's mate, Pete Shotton, Nigel Wally and Ivan Vaughan, all the key members of I would call them the Walton Vale Gang. There was a group of them, and they all went to the Springwood Primary School, but actually Rod Davis, I think, went to Cambridge at the end of the day. Kind of a super clever guy. He'd been in the science year at school, he did Spanish and French, so his qualifications were well above what he had to be, because John was like the opposite of being like appreciated his education. Rod Davis appreciated his education.
He was a clever bloke.
But he was in the Quarrymen nonetheless, and he was a clever bloke. So when he joined the Quarrymen, he was in a form which was in the lower 6th part of Quarry Bank. And he joined the band from there, and he was already working on French and History A levels when he joined the band with John and Pete, who were in the year above him. He'd been trying to get a banjo or a guitar for some time, and he tried plucking a violin, which quickly realised this would get me nowhere. Well, I don't think violins were ever going to be trendy as such for a good while to come, unless you're Andre Rieu. To name drop, don't know him, but there we are.
I do.
So Rod tried to fix up an old ukulele, but this was also pretty useless too. So his father's brother was quite good violinist, and he played in a dance band in the Denbigh area, which is part of Wales, and his brother-in-law taught him guitar and banjo, so he brought that to the game. So when he was in the sort of fraternity of the Quarrymen, he had that to offer. Rod is an interesting fellow because he has a middle name which is letter V for Verso. Oh. Now, I'm none the wiser about this, but Verso, I don't know what it means. It could be a musical sort of or a Welsh thing. No idea. But Rod himself, he went to Cambridge University in 1960, so he missed all the Beatles stuff, but boy could he talk about John Lennon, I suppose. So what he admitted was he never left the Quarrymen. He sort of drifted out, and he just remembered Paul being invited to join the group, and that was his last recollection of the whole thing. He did make a couple of records based upon the trad music he was doing, some trad jazz, but he found out about John being in Hamburg, and John offered to try and drag him in as a drummer to play in Hamburg the very first time the band were in Hamburg. And then they stumbled across Pete Best, and you know the rest is history. So after Rod graduated from Cambridge, like 3-4 years later, he lived abroad for a long time, and he returned to the UK and became a tour guide in London, and later got a job at a polytechnic as a lecturer in a place called Uxbridge. And like I say, he's been in touch with my good self through emails and things, because he likes to reminisce about the old band, and if I find out something he didn't know and he finds out something I didn't know, we kind of shares it. So luckily, that's a nice relationship, and I wish him well.
Yeah.
Rod V. Davis. One of those D's that we can mention as a Beatleplace person. Over to Mark.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Sonny Jim.
Shall I pick... Nothing to do with the letter D, this, but here's another song I'd like
that'll
you
be
to
good.
see if you know what it's called. Right, here we go. You know you made me cry. I see no use in wondering why. I cried for you, and now you've changed your mind. I see no reason to change mine. I cried. It's through. Oh, you're giving me the same old line. I'm wondering why. You hurt me then. You're back again. No. And then it's the title of the song. What's the name of that song? You know you made me cry. I see no use in wondering why. I cried for you, and now you've changed your mind. I see no reason to change mine. I cried. It's through. Oh, you're giving me the same old line. I'm wondering why. You hurt me then. You're back again. No.
It's got the word another in it.
It hasn't.
Not a second time.
Correct. Well done. Well
Yeah.
done. You
Oh,
dug
wait.
that out from way back. A little thing about that song. John said that he wrote that for the second album, and it was the one that William Mann wrote about in the Times. He went on about the flat, sub-mediant key switches.
Did he?
And the Aeolian cadence.
Oh, that one.
At the end, being like Mahler's Song of the Earth. Really, it was just chords like any other chords. That was the first time anyone had written anything like that about us, said John.
But yeah, I suppose if you go to some highbrow newspaper like that, you're going to have things spouted out in a sort of verbose sort of way, posh,
Right.
if you like. And even I don't understand what Aeolian cadences stand
I've no idea, no.
for.
But we could demonstrate if we were allowed to play the music, but
And we ain't,
can't.
And we can't. But
So-
we're not going to fret, are we?
let's put the kettle on and have a biscuit and have a cup of tea.
The Beatleplaces Podcast with Mark and Col. Find us under B for Beatles, or P for Podcast, or A for any old rubbish.
Congratulations, everyone. You're back in the room with Mark and Col, and we're doing Beatleplaces with Mark and Col.
That's who it is.
I was going to say Derek and Dave then, for some reason.
Oh, not them again.
No.
They keep turning up every week.
It's letter D in Beatleplaces. Beatles with an A, everyone. And letter D, a Beatle place, is Dovedale School. Very briefly, that's where John and George went when they were little kids. Infant school, junior school, based in the Penny Lane area, a place called Mossley Hill, and that's where they went. Both John and George attended there as infants and junior schools. John and George were in different years, of course, and very unlikely that they ever met within the school. It's what you didn't do then. John's friend Ivan Vaughan was enrolled there too, about 1946, and this is when John began to live at Menlove Avenue. Previously, he just lived around the corner from Dovedale School, which is probably another reason why it was convenient. I don't know whether or not there was somebody back at Newcastle Road who could have looked after him, but the first school John was at was Moss Pits, and he was quote-unquote expelled for various reasons. So Dovedale was the next place around, not far. In fact, it's not far from where George lives. About half a mile away is a place called Wavertree, and of course George went to Dovedale. He did all right there too, clever kid. When age 11, John started his work on a series of comic books in the school called Sports, Speed and Illustrated. And he always added a bit of a script, and he would always say, edited and written by J.W. Lennon. And it always contained pictures of film stars and football players, which passed the time away. And also he liked to draw and sort of explore his more sort of artistic bent with poems and silly stories, and so it continued into later life. George, of course, left Dovedale when he qualified for the grammar school in Liverpool city centre a long time ago. But when I went past Dovedale's school not so long back, and you realise it's kind of, you'd hardly notice it, but it was kind of a key school in its time. I did a little feature on one of the old podcasts where we talked about the janitors and the teachers, and there was a logbook kept of what they did. But there was quite a lot. It was a multi-denominational school. They had Jewish kids in there, and Catholics and Protestants and types like that, from all over the area, because Wavertree, Mossley Hill, those areas were kind of a centre, and it was all sort of centred to Penny Lane. Dovedale School was a key school, and it's still there.
It is. I wasn't far from it today, actually, because I was over that side of the water today,
Oh, yeah.
driving past. Anyway, by the by, I'm going to talk now about a song called Drive My Car. A first hearing of Drive My Car might suggest that the Beatles are telling some baby to drive their car, but closer inspection of the lyrics reveal that it's the male narrator who's being asked to do the driving, when you think about it. He's trying to chat someone up using that well-worn line, "Well, what would you want to be?" suggesting sexual favours in return for promises of career advancement.
If you say so.
The woman tells him that she wants to be a movie star, but then reverses the roles by saying that she might, and it only might, agree to give him some love if he agrees to be her chauffeur. Very long-winded, this, isn't it? By the second verse, it's the man who's pleading his case, arguing that his prospects are good. Paul remembered this song as the only one he got stuck on, the storyline being pulled together at the last minute with some help from John. When he arrived at Abbey Road on October the 20th, 1965, to record the song, the chorus was, "I can give you golden rings, I can give you anything, baby, I love you." John dismissed this as, excuse me, but crap. And so the two of them huddled together to create an alternative and came up with "Baby, You Can Drive My Car," a tougher, more sexually charged image, which in turn gave rise to the "beep beep" and "beep beep yeah" background vocal.
Oh, yeah.
This was, of course, a playful reference to the "yeah yeah yeah" that had become their signature shout, and a gift to headline writers, but it might also have been sort of a nod to "Beep Beep" by the Playmates from 1958.
Oh, I don't
I
remember
can just
that
about
one.
remember that one.
Yeah.
And I think the punchline of that song say "beep beep," and he's getting followed by this bubble car, and all he's shouting is, "How can I get this car out of second gear?" A song that has been a fixture on BBC radio programming for children at the time that the Beatles started out. John always agreed that it was Paul's song with a bit of last-minute tuning, and Paul said the idea of the girl being a bitch was the same, but the change made the key line better. 2 days after recording Drive My Car, Paul told a music magazine, "We've written some funny songs with jokes in. We think that comedy numbers are the next thing after protest songs." Yeah.
As if.
The bass line was patterned after Donald Dunn's playing on Otis Redding's Respect, which had been released the month before Drive My Car was recorded. So they pinched the bass line from Respect by Otis Redding there for Drive My Car. So I'll have to listen to...
Sometimes you hear a riff or two and you're thinking, is it theirs or somebody else's? But, you just let it go.
We'll have to have a listen to Otis Redding's Respect and compare it to Drive My Car and see what we think.
A good thought, though, isn't it? Yeah, good
Anyway.
thought to dissect the song, but you got to enjoy the song, really.
Yeah, it's you can go a bit too far into it and you lose.
Analytical to death.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I have.
Nothing to do with D's, fortunately, but we did have a day off the other week, and me and Mark nipped off to see something. It's on our doorstep. We just ignore it so much, and we often used to go up and down Matthew Street for a beer or two. And since I don't know, we sort of got older, we've done less of it because now it's more of a Beatle-themed street, isn't it? It's kind of
It is, yeah. There's
pubs
all
and
sorts
bars
down
and
there.
shops. And it's loud of a night, and too much sometimes. But I work local to it, and I see it every day. But we spent a day in Matthew Street, because we said we're going in there, which was the Pete Best Beatles Museum. And I think we enjoyed it.
It was very good.
Yeah, lots of stuff in there. And
3 floors of stuff.
And as you went up the floors, you went up in years.
You did.
So,
advanced in years as you got higher up.
Lots of little ways of displaying things I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
The original stuff at that, Pete's stuff, which was, in his attic, I guess, all wrapped up and forgotten about. But there were tickets and stubs and pictures and jackets and drum kits, and interesting because you got the idea of the story developing. I mean, there was a time when Pete wasn't there anymore, but he kept the story going, much to his credit.
And some of the stuff, though, that any normal person would just throw it out, but without thinking, it could become a museum piece in a few years' time, but, I'll put it in the bin, get rid of it. But he kept everything.
I mean, you get the usual gift shop thing in there, but it's only a little wee thing, a couple of T-shirts, but it's more a case of you got to appreciate what they wear. So what I remember is as we stood in the entrance of the night, you heard me shout this, that I noticed the first thing you saw in front of you as you saw the guy who let you in was some old-fashioned Mersey Ferry chairs. And, I've caught the Mersey Ferry many a time. And these are sort of chairs that are made of wood and are sort of like a steamer chair type of shape. But also, if you needed to, you could chuck them over the water and they'd be a life raft.
Yes.
But there they were, in really good nick. First thing I saw,
varnished up, weren't they?
They're Mersey Ferry chairs, I said.
Aye.
So for some reason that must have had a Beatles connection, because the Beatles caught the ferries and travelled on the ferry a lot, as did a lot of people who were living in Liverpool, commuting back and forth, going to gigs and things like that.
It's the only way, really, across on the ferry or across on the train.
Yeah, just simple travel, and it worked, and you didn't think anything of it. 15 minutes, you're over the other side of the water. But the whole museum's got it just about right, I think. We caught it on a quiet day, I think, when we were early and it was quiet, and just a couple of tourists were there enjoying what they could. And they kind of got sequenced it right. So as you travel up and enjoy like your sort of early days, success, psychedelia, and breakups, you kind of see the history of the Beatles in a really good way. I particularly thought those fire extinguishers were quite good. Were they part of the souvenirs?
I think they were part of it.
Oh,
yes,
were they now? Oh, I thought they were Beatle fire extinguishers.
Is that why you pinched one?
I said, why not?
Yeah.
You've got plenty.
Yeah.
And
not as many as they did have.
It went under my coat all right.
No, I don't think we did it. No.
No, we didn't.
You didn't pinch anything. No.
But I really like the early stuff, because that's my gig. That's what I like. The leather jackets that Pete wore, and letters framed up on the wall of when they were in Hamburg, trying to get back into Hamburg because they'd caused a little bit of an upset with a potential arson. Lots of little stories that sort of, that explains itself now, sort of that way around. And we found that the price was okay, and afterwards we had a nice little bite to eat and a drink, didn't we, in the Rococo,
Aye.
which is a lovely spot to go to and enjoy, which is a good place for a cup of tea. So we had a full day of it, a day out, a lad's day out, going to see Pete Best Museum, the Beatle Museum. You can find it in Matthew Street, and that's the end of this advert.
There is some other stuff down there as well, but if you want to go there, it's fine. There's lots of stuff to visit.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Street's got lots of stuff right, and overnight it's mad.
Oh, it is. It's crazy down there.
I think we were looking at where what they did with the cavern was, unfortunately they knocked down the original cavern, and they built another one. But besides the new cavern,
using some of the original bricks as well.
Yeah, the bricks and stuff. Some of it is like, let's say 40-50% old cavern, and in the streets outside are bricks, and of course there are. But these bricks are labelled with the bands who played in the cavern, and me and Mark spent a good while looking for. I'll get the band name, the Mojos.
The Mojos, yes.
And we were looking for the Mojos, which is a band Mark knows quite well. because he's got a relative of his in it who played then, and I knew a couple.
My wife's relative.
There was a couple of guys I knew were in bands when the Cavern was up and running and going strong. So I couldn't see them. But there's hundreds of bricks up on the wall, monumental, memorable sort of bricks of band names. I think Elton John's there somewhere. Rod Stewart certainly was. And more and beyond. So the whole place is great to see. Matthew Street, well worth a visit if you're a tourist. So come along. You might see me and Mark outside playing our violin banjo combo that we think is going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, which it won't be.
You reckon?
Definitely. Go on. What are you going to say to me now?
Letter D.
Oh.
A D thing.
Well, should I do the answer to my little Quizlet?
Yes. Jump in there,
I
lad.
think I will. If I can find my answers.
Shall I remind you of the ones I gave you?
Go on then. Do that first then.
The Beatles and the Magical Mystery Tour questions. What song did the Beatles dance to in the movie? Which Beatle brother came along to was also in the movie? Where did Paul go to film the Fool on a Hill song? Which Beatle wife was in the Magical Mystery Tour movie? And the Magical Mystery Tour was based upon a book about merry pranksters. So did you know who that was?
I don't.
I did know.
I've got one of those answers. I think.
Okay. We'll stand by near the end of the show, not far off.
Right.
We'll recite the
Just
answers.
whiz through my questions as well.
Go ahead.
What D was the theatre where the Beatles fan club hired a room for £5 and the Beatles attended? Any idea? It was demolished in the 1980s, but the newly formed unofficial Beatles fan club on October the 17th, 1961. So I'd like to know what D was the theatre. Okay. That was question one. Question number two, what was the name of the hill that inspired Fool on the Hill that Paul wrote? Okay. Number three, what two songs mention a walrus in Beatles songs?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of them you should know dead easy. The other one, maybe not quite. And finally, number four, animals that have a name in Beatles songs. There's two of them that I can work out anyway. One is actually the name of the animal and the animal itself. And the other one is just the name of the animal. Not the type of animal, but what it was called, a pet's name. So there's two of those. I would like to know what they are. Thank you very much, please.
I'd like to know what they are sometimes as well.
Off you go, son.
Cheers, kidder. Letter D, folks, because we're talking about Beatles with an A, and the letter this time around is letter D for dog, D for dinner time.
Oh, yes, please.
D, dreams. In the John Lennon world, John had lots of dreams, and they mostly included things about the weather, the position, power, Beatle recording sessions, and even the Beatles songwriting. And some dreams, he said, were recurring ones, such as the one in which thousands of half crowns, which remember half crowns, Mark, old money, which was quite a lot of money. The coins came falling around him, so there's a money reference there somewhat. Another was of finding lots of money in old houses, which he ran into. He'd ram into his pocket and then into sacks, so he's stuffing his pockets with all this loose change. Imagine how far he'd get if he got chased. The dreams faded as he became famous, because then he did have real money. So in an interview with Alan Smith, who's a local guy anyway, who used to be part of the New Musical Express, he revealed he'd never had a nightmare in his life. He said, "Some of my most vivid dreams were about me being on a plane, flying over a certain part of Liverpool," which I guess is from home. It was then I was at school. The plane used to fly over time and time again, all the while getting higher and higher. There wasn't anything special about the plane. I just really don't remember anything about any other passengers. It was just being up there. For a long time, I didn't understand why I had this dream. It didn't seem to make any sense. Then it dawned on me it was probably a subconscious urge to get above people, get out of a rut or something. I used to mess around at school, but I must have had some ambitions without realising it. Anyway, I got out of my rut and I try not to fly anymore. He certainly doesn't. Dreams.
Well, I never. There you go. Is that another guitar you've got in your hand there, Col?
Do you like it? Give
us a go with it.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that was nice. Lovely.
Tuneful.
Yes.
Tuneful. Almost tuneful.
When's the record coming out of that? Your LP out, is it soon?
I've got to get Giles Martin on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's got to play with some AI or something. He told me.
Certainly has.
What have you got?
Nothing really.
Oh, okay. Well, does that allow me a moment to talk about D for Deutschland?
Go on.
Of course,
I will speak shortly.
The Beatles had lots in common with Germany. Me and Mark had said we'd seen the Beatles Museum, a lot of Hamburg references, and Hamburg, Germany. Okay, good enough for you, good enough for me. So Deutschland, some places in Hamburg that need a mention because they don't get a mention. We know about the clubs, we know about certain places like that, but is anyone familiar with Jager Passage? Which I'll mispronounce as being in the Vogelstrasse part of Hamburg. And during the Beatles' residency at the Top 10 Club, the early days, John posed here in the doorway for a photograph by his old mate Jürgen Vollmer, an associate of their close Hamburg friends of Astrid and, gosh, who was the other guy? Klaus Woolman. Well, don't know why me named it. I should come prepared to these things.
It's age.
Yeah.
It's an age thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and so John was leaning against, thanks folks. So there was John leaning against the wall, and there he was in his teddy boy haircut, leather jacket, posing like Billy-O. And the people walking past him in the rock and roll picture in the 1975 album he later released, they were the Beatles, including Stu. Another German reference here, part of Hamburg, was the Chum Yuen Pun in the Schmuckstrasse.
Wow.
What was that, folks? Well, it wasn't the Star Club, I'll tell you. It's where they went to eat. It was a former site of a Chinese restaurant. Paul often said its great attraction were the pancakes, the Pfannkuchen und Zitronenbitter und Zucker. That sounds like sugar to me. It was the only place that sold them. Everywhere else had foreign food. Well, what else would it have? So largely a fun place to go. Not there anymore. The other place that was used a lot, especially with all the other bands as well, was the Gretel and Alphonse sort of cafe bar restaurant place. That was in the Gross Freiheit, not far from everywhere else. Frequented by the Beatles and many other British musicians. Still pretty much as it was if ever you go. And if you ask them nicely, they still play Beatles records. And roughly the right ones too, just to do with their era. When Paul came back here in 1989, he famously paid off all his old debts with a bit of interest as well. Some Beatleplaces for Beatle fans with the letter D for Deutschland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Back to the Beatles' diary. That's D for diary. Okay. Back to 1966. So we've gone on a couple of years from 1964 to April the 16th, 1966. Okay?
We said we'd go further up, didn't we?
We have. We've gone a couple of years. Didn't want to go too far because further up there ain't much happening in April. So, anyway, Abbey Road.
They stayed in.
Yeah, Abbey Road, April the 16th, 1966. An afternoon and evening session during which they completed the song called Rain. And Ringo said, "My favourite piece of me is what I did on Rain. I think I just played amazing. I was into the snare and hi-hat. I think it was the first time I used this trick of starting a break by hitting the hi-hat first instead of going directly to a drum off the hi-hat. I think it's the best out of all the records I've ever made. Rain blows me away. It's out of left field. I know me and I know my playing. And then there's Rain." So
And it was a B-side as well,
Yeah.
on the single. bloody B-side.
And on April the 17th, Abbey Road again, the Beatles laid down the backing tracks for John's Dr. Robert.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. All good. All good.
And then April the 19th, they finished it. So 2 days later, that's quite a quick one, Dr. Robert. I quite like that song, Dr. Robert.
The genesis of all his early songs was they had the idea, they wrote the song, they found a studio, and it was produced within a month.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Nowadays, Coldplay is still working on their synthesizer, trying to get a beat for the next song. And yeah, there were these 60s bands, and besides the Beatles, there was plenty of them. Knocking these things out because they had a week's to spare between tours or films or whatever they were doing. So very interesting. Good one, that, Mark. Good choice.
Another little bit here. I said they did a finished Abbey Road, finished Dr. Robert on April the 19th. On April the 20th, a 12-hour session from 2:30 in the afternoon to 2:30 in the morning the following day.
AM we call it.
Aye. Working on John's And Your Bird Can Sing and George's Taxman. They did rehearsals for that. And on the following day, April the 21st, Taxman was finished. And Paul added his distinctive guitar solo that day. On April the 21st, 1966, which is, wow.
Way back.
Way back.
And astonishing.
More than I care to think.
And the catalogue of hits are there, and it's to do with the fact that was a good one, that was a great one, that was a really good one, and none of them were duff. One or two duff ones out of 200 odd songs, so you got to give them some credit there.
Excellent stuff.
That's what we do. Letter D. This is Beatleplaces with Mark and Col. Congratulations.
Hello. Giving unemployed, good-looking, tall, handsome, well-groomed voiceover artists a bit of part-time work. It's the Beatleplaces Podcast with Mark and Col.
Is that all right?
Yes, it's fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next. So, I'll sum up a couple of Beatles songs with the letter D in them. Would you like me to give you a compendia?
Ding dong.
Well, there was Day Tripper. There was Dear Prudence.
Aye.
Devil in Her Heart. We can sing that one. Yeah, the devil in her heart.
You said you could sing it.
I said I could, but I wasn't attempting
You're
it
not
there.
right.
Thank you. That's my excuse. Dig a Pony, which we've already done.
Aye.
Dig It.
Aye.
A little song.
Yep.
Not really so much a song. I suppose it was one of those duff ones. It's all right.
What football manager gets mentioned in
Matt
that song?
Busby.
Correct.
Matt Busby. A good Scottish manager.
Aye.
Dizzy Miss Lizzie. That's a complete song.
one.
Yeah. Dr. Roberts, which you just said.
Aye.
The doctor was really Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
He was a real doctor, dentist. And,
supplied them with
things.
bit of aspirin.
Yeah, heavy duty lozenges.
Yeah.
Dr. Rob was really Dr. Freeman, but that didn't rhyme. So there was Do You Want to Know a Secret? Mark talked about that before. Don't Bother Me, all the early songs. Don't Let Me Down, Don't Pass Me By, a Ringo one.
Mm-hmm.
Drive My Car, like you kindly said. And that's all the D's songs that there were.
There's not that many D's.
Not that many.
More of them in the early years than later on.
Yeah, a lot of don'ts and do's, personal pronoun ones, I, me, you, all that sort of caper. But
Aye.
interesting people, interesting songs, of course. Well, and that's what you got with the Beatles.
Ask me a question, Cole.
How tall are you?
7'9".
Good grief, I never noticed. You sat down all the time. That's your problem.
Yeah, go on. Ask me your quiz then.
Okay, so
I'm ready for you.
If you're ready with answers to the quiz.
Well,
yeah,
I'm ready, but I'm not out no answers. Go.
What song? It was all about the Magical Mystery Tour.
Right.
So what song, first question, did the Beatles dance to in the Magical Mystery Tour film?
Well, they sort of did a walk down the stairs and a bit of a dance, sort of a shuffle. Your Mother Should Know.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it was a choreographed walk, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, I love that bit.
Yeah, and it's in time as they finally all reach the bottom. Eventually,
and they do the little fast little steps at the end as well as they go down the last few steps. I like that bit.
Yeah, somebody said, "Now when you get to the end."
Speed up.
Near the end, 9 steps from the bottom.
I can't do that.
I'm not doing that.
Anyway, go on,
that'd be
next one.
Georgia. Okay, which Beatle brother came along to
I'd say
Magical
it was-
Mystery Tour?
It was Paul's brother, Michael.
It always was, wasn't it? He was everywhere, wasn't he, for this time? He was on the All You Need Is Love video.
Aye. He gets about a bit.
Yeah, I mean, George had tons of brothers. He had two brothers to speak of, and they never kind of appeared in much, and they just hung around him as brothers. John, no brothers. Plenty of sisters, half-sisters. Ringo, no family like that, and he didn't bring anyone along. And where did Paul go to film The Fool on the Hill? So he had, remember his big long coat, a big army coat, and he's twirling around, singing the song.
Was it Dorset somewhere?
France.
Oh.
Famously, he didn't take a passport, but he let him through because he recognised him.
I know you.
You're Arthur Astley, aren't
Aye.
you?
It is you, isn't it?
It is you, yeah. Other question, part of the show was, which Beatle wife was in the movie as well? Beatle wife.
I would say that's Cynthia.
It was Cynthia, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of can't picture her there, but Cynthia was there. I would have said it was Ringo's missus, but it wasn't.
I'm sure it was Cynthia.
Yeah, it was Cynthia. Quite
Yeah.
right. 8
Right.
points and a Toblerone.
Thank you very much.
Final question on this little delve.
Uh-huh.
Letter D.
Show off.
Which Magical Mystery Tour was
Aye.
loosely based upon which book about merry pranksters?
Haven't a clue.
It was an American fella.
Was it?
Ken Kesey.
Oh,
you think for a minute Jack Kerouac on the road and all that.
Ken Kesey wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Ken
Nest.
Kesey, yeah. You can look him up later, but I think he did. Yeah, Ken Kesey. There are your questions. Well done, you. That was it.
I did better than I thought I would.
Yeah, also did I.
Aye. Well, you best have thought I wouldn't do as well as I did.
You did as well as I thought you weren't going to do.
Well, I improved.
Round of applause.
What? What's that for? Right. My
Turning up,
questions.
turning up.
My yes. I don't know why I bother. What D was the theatre where the Beatles fan club, newly formed, the unofficial one, hired a room for £5 and the Beatles attended? Any idea?
1961, you said.
October the 17th, 1961, the newly formed unofficial Beatles fan club hired a room for £5 at this theatre, and the Beatles agreed to attend. They had no PA equipment, but Paul and Pete Best each sang a couple of numbers, much to the delight of the 100 or so present, who included Paul's father. The fan club was only in existence for a month, and the first official club was formed in 1962 by Bobby Brown from Wallasey, who in turn handed the reins to Frida Kelly. And it ran officially till 1975. So this building was situated close to Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral and housed a hotel as well as the theatre. It was demolished in the 1980s as part of road improvements, and it was called the David Lewis Theatre
Right.
in Great George Place, Liverpool 1.
No
And
wonder,
there's a picture.
no wonder I couldn't find it.
And I don't know what that building is. That could have gone by now. Sorry, this is
Which area was that, can I ask me?
Liverpool 1.
That reminds me of the hospital in Leeds Street, where unfortunately Mary McCartney died.
Aye.
I've got a feeling.
That is well gone
I've got
now.
a feeling.
But it doesn't look like Leeds Street. Sorry, listeners, but this is.
We're just talking about local stuff.
This is radio, not television.
Sorry, moving along.
So it was the David Lewis Theatre, if you're well up on your bits and pieces. Question number 2. What was the name of the hill that inspired The Fool on the Hill? Have you any idea?
Well, I said before that the video was made in France, nothing to do with the hill of the song. So I gather it's an English reference of a song.
It is. It's
Is it?
a place in London. Think of some hills in London.
Shooter's Hill,
No.
Hampstead Heath.
No. It was actually Primrose Hill.
Primrose. Now, stop you there straight away. Do you know who's written a song called Primrose Hill?
No.
It's out this week.
I do not know.
James McCartney.
Oh, I see. Well,
Called Primrose Hill.
Alistair Taylor, in his book Yesterday, recalls walking on Primrose Hill with Paul and his dog, where they watched the sunrise before realising that Martha, the dog, had gone missing. All right, we turned round to go, and suddenly there he was standing behind us, wrote Taylor. He was a middle-aged man, very respectably dressed in a belted raincoat. Nothing in that, you may think, but he come up behind us over the bare top of a hill in total silence. Both Paul and Taylor were sure that the man hadn't been there seconds before because they'd been searching the area for the dog. He seemed to have appeared miraculously. The three men exchanged greetings, and the man commented on the beautiful view and then walked away. When they looked around, he'd vanished. There was no sign of the man, said Taylor. He just disappeared from the top of the hill, as if he'd been carried off into the air. No one could have run to the thin cover of nearest trees in the time we had turned away from him, and no one could have run over the crest of the hill. What added to the mystery was that immediately before the man's appearance, Paul and Taylor had, provoked by the beautiful view over London and the rising of the sun, been mulling over the existence of God. Paul and I both felt the same weird sensation that something special had happened. We sat down rather shakily on the seat, and Paul said, "What the hell do you make of that? That's weird. He was here, wasn't he?" We did speak to him. Back at Cavendish, we spent the rest of the morning talking about the song, about what we'd seen, and they sort of said they had a religious experience on top of Primrose Hill. We both felt we'd been through some mystical religious experience, and in Magical Mystery Tour, the song was used over a sequence with Paul on a hilltop overlooking Nice.
Nice. Okay. So even more fine detail on that question.
So there.
Well,
So
good
there
of
you
you.
go.
Yeah, nice. I like the backstory. Interesting. That's really,
And
really different.
What two songs mention a walrus in the Beatles songs?
Okay.
The first one.
I
I
Am.
am the walrus.
Yeah, which was created on demand because there was a lad at John's old school, Quarry Bank, who had said, I'm an ex-student of Quarry. I'm a student of Quarry Bank. You were too. I'm interested in the way you write songs. I mean, you can you get away with writing anything, and how do you write songs? And John, inspired by the thought of this fella called Stephen Beattie, he put together I Am the Walrus. He said, I'll just give them gibberish and let them interpret the song.
Yeah.
However you interpret the song.
Crack-a-lock a fishwife and all this, that and the other.
And we talked about the rhyme in that as well, Once Upon a Time. The other song with the walrus in it was Glass Onion.
Correct, well done.
Yeah. Oh. I did wrote it down because I wasn't
You
sure.
wrote it?
I wrote it down
Aye.
to be sure.
Right.
Okay, moving
And
on.
the final one, question number 4. Animals that have a name in Beatles songs. I can only think of 2. One is from the album Sgt. Pepper's,
Oh, really?
and the other one is from the White Album,
That would be Martha.
which I've just mentioned
The dog,
because I
the
gave you a
name
clue
of
there.
the dog, which is about the dog.
Martha, my
And
dear.
then an animal
Which is an old English sheepdog. Wasn't it?
that went missing on Primrose
Primrose
Hill.
And
But the other one
animal.
on Sgt. Pepper.
Aye.
Good morning.
Think
maybe?
of a circus.
Oh, Henry the Horse.
Correct. Yeah. And what does he do?
He serves fish and chips.
No, he dances the waltz.
Dances the waltz. Why do I half remember stuff these
I
days?
don't know. You're talking about food again, anyway.
I must be hungry.
Yeah, get the chips out.
Good questions then,
Aye.
really difficult. So there we are, we've covered a couple of D's there. Other Beatle places, just to wind things up for the evening, is to say places would include Dairy Cottage, where John lived and brought up as a little boy, where Auntie Gin comes from, Paul's auntie, who's in the song Let 'Em In. She lived at a place called Diners Lane, Dinas Lane. Dingle Vale is where Ringo went to as a school, as a young lad. Dovedale Road we covered already. And Disney World. What's the Disney World connection with Beatles? Give me a year as
Disney.
well to confuse you. 1974.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, John went there, 1974, with his
Aye.
son to enjoy Disney World.
Julian.
In Florida. 1974 was the day he was there, was the day the Beatles were officially wound up. And he must have signed some legal papers there and then, and that was that. So what we didn't cover tonight included the Decca audition of 1961.
Aye.
We didn't talk about Hunter Davis. We didn't talk about the bouncer at the Cavern, Paddy Delaney. We didn't talk about Donovan.
No.
Bob Dylan even, Lonnie Donegan, Terry Doran, who was the guy who got them all cars.
Aye.
Beano Dawn,
Aye.
the local fella who fitted them all in suits. And a lovely fella who we haven't kind of covered at all, Dusty Durband. Alan Durband was the guy's name.
Aye.
And he was an English teacher in Paul and George's School, Liverpool Institute.
Yeah.
And he got a lovely little reminiscence of him as a young fella. He's a very clever guy who had nothing as a young fella, but he did well. He went to Cambridge as well. A lot of Cambridge students in this particular broadcast.
You've mentioned that twice now.
Yeah, and Cambridge, there you go, third time.
That's a flipping heck.
Cambridge.
Stop it. My ears.
So, more or less, folks, we are done.
Aye. It's time to wind it up
Pull the curtains,
and turn the lights off
disappear, pay the bill.
and say, that's it, clear off, open the doors, lights out,
But importantly,
last orders.
yeah, do your feedback and ask yourself, did you enjoy it?
Aye.
And don't forget, it's free, so it shouldn't have been too painful for you because we provided the entertainment as best we could. We'll do
That's
it again.
what you call it, yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Letter E next time around.
E.
E for E, it's a good show.
Aye.
And we'll be back to do that sometime soon. So wishing you all well.
Thank you for listening and good night and turn the red light off.
This way out.
Right, clear off you lot.
Thanks for listening to the Beatleplaces Podcast with Mark and Col. We hope to see you again real soon, and don't forget to visit the gift shop on the way out.